So what's good, homies? This your man, Dr. DOA. You know, we talk a lot about marriage and what it means to men and how men should process the information that they receive about the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, and the pitfalls of putting yourself in that particular situation. But some men still don't get it. Some men still put themselves in that scenario, even though they know it's not the best scenario to put yourself in. Every now and then, a situation will arise where we will see an example of a man who has made the wrong decision with the wrong woman, and the woman shows it with her disgust and disdain for the man to even be close to her. Now, I did a video about one of these, man, about a year ago, and there was this overweight guy who just was unkempt, man, obviously had some paper, and there was a chick, fairly attractive chick, nice body, who he married. And she looked so embarrassed and so out of place, and you could tell it was something that she was doing with ulterior motives. And the man tried to kiss her, and she curved. There's another one of those scenarios that someone sent me on IG. And this man is not overweight. This man is not, unkempt. This man looks like he cares about his appearance and is taking pretty good care of himself. And this woman still curves him. But she curves him during the after wedding dance, where the bride and groom take the floor. No one else is out there but them. And she curved him, straight curved him. I'm talking about almost pushed him off of her. So it goes to show that it's not always the man that the world might perceive as unattractive that a woman curves. A woman will curve any man who has made the vital mistake of thinking that the wrong woman wants to be with him, and signs his name on the dotted line and be with that woman long term. Let's take a deep dive on this one. First, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, the truth of the matter is this. No matter how much you weigh on a woman, or how much you attempt to prove yourself to a woman, or how much you attempt to win a woman over and make her like you, or make her love you, or make her want you, or even make her appreciate you, if this woman doesn't do this on her own, then she's not going to do it. It has to be something that occurs naturally, organically even. And in some situations, men don't care about that. They just want the woman so badly. They feel like they've gotten a woman and they can't do any better. But here's the thing. You can always do better than a woman who doesn't want you. You can always do better than a woman who has an ulterior motive and doesn't even like you enough to fake like she wants you. There's one thing for a woman to not want you but fake like she does. You know how off-putting you must be to a woman for her to not like you and not even be able to contain it, have to show it. Let's take a look at this quick video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip. See what I mean? It should be obvious to this man that he made a vital, terrible mistake in his life. And it's going to cost him. Because obviously the woman has an ulterior motive. But it's too late now. He signed his name on the dotted line. But here's the problem with men in this society. He won't look at the woman and say, I made a mistake. The woman don't really like me. He'll think there's something he can do to make the woman like him. He'll think there's something he can do to fix it. I've had men, man, who talked to me and their woman cheated on them. And instead of trying to figure out how to get past it, they were trying to figure out what they could do to make sure it doesn't happen again. You know what I do? I tell those guys, man, don't call me anymore, man. I'm not who you need to talk to. You need to get some real psychiatric assistance, man. You see, we live in a society where men are told that you have to prove yourself to society by getting a woman. Women aren't here to prove yourself to society. Women are here to be helpmeets. What's the purpose of having a woman in your life and she ain't helping you do nothing but feel worse about yourself, but be down on yourself, but elevate her more and push yourself down in the gutter more? What's the benefit of having a woman like that in your life? How does she benefit you? Too many men are pushing the narrative that you define yourself by the woman you have. And then on the other side, women are defining themselves by everything but the men they have. We have taken on the feminine outlook and have allowed them to take on the masculine outlook. And here's the thing, they only do what we allow them to do. They only do what they do in following suit to what we do. So it's not that women have become more masculine, it's because it's that men became more feminine. It's that men became more feminine, and therefore women had no choice but to be more masculine, because nature is going to balance itself. You go from having men who propose to women that don't want them. Then you go to women proposing to men who don't want them. I keep telling you guys, marriage is a woman's dream. It's not a man's dream. Marriage is what a woman wants to do in her life. It's not what you want to do in yours. Marriage is what a woman needs in her life for completion, not you. You don't have to settle for a woman who doesn't want you. You don't have to settle for a woman who doesn't appreciate you. You don't have to settle for a woman who views you with disgust and disdain. She can do that from a distance. You keep the kingdom you built, the world you built, the life you built away from a woman like that. How are you going to benefit her with living a quality of life that you can give her? Because the only ulterior motive that a woman is going to have to marry a man she doesn't like is financial. So obviously, you situated financially. How are you going to give a no good woman access to that? So you can say, "Ooh, look at me, I got a pretty woman on my arm," while she's looking at you like you stink. I'm telling you, men, something's going to have to change about the men in this society perpetuating the energy that you should be chasing women, and you should be pursuing women, and you should be making women like you, and you should be trying to increase a woman's interest in you and all of those things. Especially if you've situated yourself financially. Now, these are two different examples. The last guy was very overweight, looked unhealthy. Just a guy who needs to work on himself. This guy looks like at least he's been working on himself. Same result. And honestly, this woman has a worse look on her face, an even more serious look of disdain and disgust than the woman did with the big guy. The woman with the big guy looked like she was more embarrassed to be with him in public. This woman looks like she can't stand this guy. And you mean to tell me all of this time you didn't know that? If a woman is to the point where she can't hold it back and even fake on the wedding day with you, homie, I promise you that woman has been showing you all of this time she don't like you. But you are a man who's been listening to the simp-minded guys who portray themselves as alphas, who portray themselves as players, who portray themselves as all of these other things that mean your masculinity is strong, when in essence they're telling you, in order to validate yourself, you need to chase that woman. And as that's not good enough, it's still not validated. You got to make that woman like you. Like the greatest accomplishment a man can have in the world is to make a woman like him. You shouldn't even be worried about a woman liking you. If the woman don't like you, she ain't for you. You can't be listening to these fools, man. Now I want you young men to understand this. I'm telling you what you need to know, not what you want to know. Build yourself into the version of yourself you want to be. Embrace that version of yourself. Pedestalize that version of yourself. And tell that version of yourself the only woman who's going to come around us is a woman who appreciates what we built. We've been through the struggle of this. We've been through the grind of building ourselves into this version. So we're going to let some woman come along and act like it ain't nothing? Well, if it ain't nothing, go find somebody else. You say they make men like me all the time. Well, why you ain't got one? Go get you one. And don't come back to me with your tail tucked between your legs when you can't find nobody that can top me. Am I saying there ain't no men in the world that can top me? I ain't saying that because I don't know. I'm saying you ain't going to find one. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to travel the world to find it. That's got to be your mindset of yourself. When you build yourself into the best version of yourself, man, you don't let no woman come along and make you diminish that value that you build in yourself because she's a woman, because she might be kind of cute. Because let me tell you like this, no matter how young she is, no matter how fine she is, over time, they all get older and uglier. We do too. Fortunately for us, our value is not based on our looks, it's based on our finances. So we can get older and uglier while at the same time getting richer. Remember that. Her value diminishes over time. Yours increases. In a perfect world, the most attractive 50-year-old woman in the world can't hold a candle to the most attractive 21-year-old woman in the world. She can't. No way possible. So if we're going to compare apples to apples, your value is eminently greater than hers. It will always be. It always should be. But here's the problem. I can say that. Anyone can say that. Anyone can tell you about your value. The homie Kevin Samuels can tell you about your value, can tell you how to become a high value man. Dr. BOA can tell you about your alpha energy, tell you how to become the most alpha version of you. MTR can tell you about masculinity, and tell you how to build your masculinity so strong that you got to tell them pardon the masculinity. Steph Cole can tell you about ice and tell you how to make yourself so cold. AMS can give you all the strategies in the world, but if you don't believe in you, none of that is going to work. You're going to still be just like this dude right here. Got a woman in front of you that don't mean you no good. You can't even figure it out because you're too busy trying to validate yourself by elevating her. Let me tell you something. Anytime you elevate somebody above you, as a man, you only elevated them this much. The rest of the way, you lowered your own self. Remember that. When you elevate a woman, you ain't elevating a woman. You're lowering yourself so she can be above you. If you never listen to anything I ever told you before, homie, you better listen to this right here. The most valuable woman is still less valuable than the least valuable man. Because there's two things that a man can provide. Matter of fact, we're going to make it even better. Let's break it down to one. That's one thing that a man can provide that nothing a woman provides can even compete with. Protection. Because without protection, nothing else matters. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Fighting to become the most alpha version of you. Welcome to the alpha sphere. Get money division. The place where you transform into a man on a mission.